My name is Breeza Freitas, and I'm the marketing manager for Patient Care. And a big part of my job is to create strategies, social media strategies, and online marketing strategies for our clients, as well as for our own brand. So I'm going to be sharing some of those today. There it goes. Okay. So today we'll be going over some do's and don'ts of Facebook's, just like the title says. And more specifically, we'll be going over do's that will help boost your organic reach, don'ts to avoid getting limited by Facebook's algorithm, some do's for curating an engaging page, and then to top it off, we'll end with an interactive section where you can apply everything that you just learned. So let's go ahead and jump into some do's. The first section comes straight from Facebook. These are things that you can do to get an extra boost in your organic reach from Facebook's algorithm. Do share links with an image preview. It used to be that photos did really, really well on Facebook. Back then, what people would do was upload a photo like you see here, and they'd add a link to their product or blog in the description of the photo. But now Facebook says, no, don't do that. Share your link as a link with an image preview, and this is what it looks like. So the elements are your intro or caption, whatever you decide to write on there. And then there's the image preview, which is pulled from the link, but you can still upload your own photo if you choose to do so. And then the link title and description, which is also pulled from the website, but you can choose to edit that as well. And Facebook makes it pretty easy for you to customize all of these. But this is how they want you to share the links on Facebook. And when you do what they want, they tend to reward you by giving you a slightly greater organic reach, in turn improving your chances to boost your reach with quality posts. So if you're not sharing links like this in Facebook, try it. And as a pro tip, when it comes to links, the shorter the description, the better. The idea is to get the link clicked on, not to have them read 3 paragraphs about it, most of the time. Because do write longer posts for stickiness. Facebook wants you to write these longer posts for what they're calling stickiness now. And that's on the screen is what Facebook says about it. We've discovered that if people spend significantly more time on a particular story in news feeds than the majority of other stories they look at, this is a good sign that the content was relevant to them. How this translates to you is this. If your patients and followers spend the extra time reading your sticky post, Facebook will assume that the content is relevant and will share it with more people. As an example, this is what a long sticky post would look like. And do you see the continue reading button in gray? This is a link to click on that will lead to another window with the full update. This type of post does not have to have an image preview, but it can. The image preview plus the stickiness is a great combination to increase engagement and to increase your organic reach. I would suggest to experiment with this type of post. When something extra exciting or important happens, post something that demands an extra action from your users and see how it goes. According to Facebook, if people click to read the complete update, your Facebook reach should increase. But, and this is a big but, be very selective with what you choose to make a sticky post. Longer posts will lose their weight if all of your posts are long-winded. We all have that friend who posts 5 paragraphs every other day, right? Now, think about that other friend that posts short and sweet things all the time and occasionally has a lengthier post. Whose long posts are you more likely to read? Probably the latter. So be the latter. Now, let's get to some don'ts from Facebook. And these don'ts also come directly from Facebook, which translates to that they are likely to punish you for it when it comes to reach. Luckily, Facebook isn't unreasonable when it comes to these. Their algorithm is constantly evolving, and it does so based on Facebook from users. So if Facebook chooses to limit your reach, it's because their users truly don't want to see these kinds of posts. Do not post clickbaity links. These are links that come with titles like, if you haven't seen this, you'll want to, or oh my God, you won't believe number 4. These links are very vague. They don't tell you anything about what the story is about, but they make you wonder and activate your curiosity enough to make you click to see what number 4 is all about. Facebook does not like this. And yes, it could get you tons of likes and shares like this image did, but are they the types of likes and shares that you want? The thing about clickbaiting is that it could very well bring you short-term success. But my goal for you, and I hope this is your goal too, is to create long-term success. That means it might take you a little longer to build a strong Facebook community, but when you do, it's going to be an active and engaged community that's legitimately interested in what you have to offer. The community that you build should be filled with quality leads, not one-time likers who will block your posts 2 weeks down the road. So bottom line, don't play mind games, just be real. Do not be too salesy on Facebook. Facebook is really concerned about the overall experience of their users. As such, they want you to add value for their users to improve their experience, which also happens to be what every marketing guru says. How very handy. So being salesy adds no value. In fact, it's a turnoff for most Facebook users. Your post on Facebook should be a post. It should not be an ad. Your Facebook post should be designed to engage and add value to your audience. Posting is your opportunity to interact with your patients on a personal level, get to know them better, and directly increase your social proof and reduce the friction that keeps new patients from scheduling with you. Bottom line, don't play mind games, just be real. Sound familiar? Don't explicitly ask people to like or share. With this, I mean posts that say, please like this picture or share this product with all of your friends. That's the fastest way to make your followers immediately turn into angsty teens retorting with, you can't tell me what to do. Your post should come off as genuine. If the content is valuable and relevant to them, they will share it. Asking them to do so probably won't help. Bottom line, you've heard this one before, don't play mind games, just be real. It's a really great pattern to follow. 4, do not use something on Facebook if it did not work the first time. At For Patient Care, we believe that you should use, reuse, and repurpose your content that did well on Facebook or other marketing platforms. In fact, this very webinar will very likely be posted on our blog, and depending how that goes, it might be posted on our Facebook as well. We'll see. But we do not advise to reshare something if it did not do well the first time. That may seem like common sense, but believe me, you'd be surprised. Let's say you share a video or a post and nobody interacted with it. You probably don't want to share that again a couple of weeks later. If it did not do well the first time, it's not going to do well the second time. Wasn't it Einstein that said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? Yeah, I'm going to take his word for it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the content itself. I'm saying that you may consider rewording and recrafting the Facebook post to produce more engagement, make tweaks, and continue to measure the results. Okay, so let's get back to some do's. This negativity is trying to weigh me down. So this time we're going to go over some more general do's about creating and curating a great Facebook page, and from our team here at 4PC. Do be consistent. Consistency is another thing that we emphasize at For Patient Care. But consistency can mean a couple of different things. Humans are creatures of habit. By being consistent, you can actually create expectation from your audience for your posts. This has been proved in several case studies, so definitely make a habit of posting regularly. But the key here is how regularly. What's too much? What's too little? This can be very tricky to figure out on your own. If you under-communicate, your followers will forget you exist and won't engage with you when you do. If you over-communicate, they'll get annoyed and unfollow you. It's not good. Luckily, people obsess over this a lot, so people measured it. Yay. What you see here are the top 4 in each of those categories: reach of total page likes and the engagement as well. While places 2 to 4 vary, the top spot stays the same, leading us to assume that the sweet spot is at posting once per week, which is a bonus because it's less work for you. However, sometimes you may have more things to share, and that's fine. Just avoid posting more than once per day. That's when things start to go really downhill. As far as time goes, on average, the best time to post on Facebook is 1 to 4 p.m. on weekdays, the best day being Wednesday. This generates the best click-through rate. However, just because this works for a majority of pages does not mean it's the best for all. Try it out for a while and measure it. Then try different days, times, and frequency, then measure that. By varying your post times, you'll also allow different sects of your follower base to be reached and keep them on their toes. Who knows, maybe more people see it at 3 p.m., but more people engage at 7 p.m. Or maybe your demographic happens to be filled with morning people. Learn the rules first and then break them. Do engage with people who engage with you. Engaging can be as simple as writing a comment on your post or posting on your newsfeed. Make sure to reply to them. Make sure you let them know that you are actually listening, that you're not just letting things run and don't actually care if people see your post or not. Make sure you let people know that you appreciate them, and you do so by engaging back with them. Build those relationships. That's what your posts are for. So follow through. Do share other people's content. Another thing we suggest that you do is what we call OPC, or other people's content. This is content that was created by other people that, though they do not feature your brand, still entertains and interests your audience. The key here is making sure that it's relevant to your brand, and more importantly, will be of value to your followers. It's a great way to let your patients know you better and seem more personable as well. As an example of this, I'm actually going to use us for patient care. This is a quote that's at the bottom of every page on our internal website. How incredible would it be to build a company whose clients are raving fans, whose employees feel loved and appreciated, whose impact on the world could be measured in touching the lives of millions of people? This is the company we are building. This is for patient care. This is the heart of our brand, and everything we put out is meant to be a reflection of that. In our case, we started internally with our own employees. We have a blog that a different staff member is assigned to share something almost every day of the week. For Motivational Monday, we each share OPC to motivate the rest of the staff. That can be anything from TED Talks to a speech by Kid President to a cute puppy that will force you to start your day with a smile. Now, as we begin to put our social media knowledge to use on our own page, we started sharing those posts on our external blog and occasionally our Facebook. How does this OPC help us? In a number of different ways. One, our followers will get to know our staff members by seeing what is motivating to them, and consequently feel more connected to us as individuals, and therefore to our company as a whole. Two, the content itself, though it has nothing to do with patient engagement or acquisition, which is what we do, will be entertaining or valuable to our followers. Seriously, we have some really hilarious blog posts actually from our staff. And then three, it's not random either. The content of the post fits perfectly with our brand. We are committed to touching the lives of people, and we do our best to communicate that in everything that we do. What better way to accomplish that than to help them start off the week on the right foot by motivating them with one way or another? I'm personally partial to puppies. That's always been my favorite. So this is just one example of how we'll be using this strategy. There are a million of other ways to do it. It can be as simple as an interesting article that you think may interest your followers, or a viral video that's being spread around. You don't have to have something as structured as ours to do that. Also, if you see that a bunch of people are sharing the same link, that is a great sign of relevance. It goes along with your brand. Share it. In fact, Facebook will reward you for being relevant and posting the same thing everybody else is posting by increasing your reach. The one time I encourage people to be sheep. The main thing to keep in mind is to ensure that it fits into the image you are creating for your brand. Beyond that, the world is your oyster. Do check on your insights. Facebook Insights is a powerful tool right at your fingertips. Simply click on Insights in your business page, the top little tab there, and then by looking at the insights, you can learn when your audience is on Facebook, what devices they use to connect on Facebook, and what other pages are relevant to them. To see when your audience is on Facebook, simply click Insights, then Post, and when your fans are online. This information is extremely important. For instance, by watching the time your audience is online, you can tweak the timing statistics I gave you above to reflect your audience habits and actions. You can see in this graph that most of this person's morning audience is not online until 8 a.m. It's pretty steady throughout the day, and then there's a little bump around 8 p.m. Also, you can identify which type of post your audience responds to the most, and later with this data, modify the strategy I gave you to reflect your audience's needs and wants. Just a quick note, however, depending on the size of your current fan base, you may or may not see all this information available. Facebook collects the data and makes it available to you once it reaches a base number to offer stats that are meaningful. So if you don't see it, it means you have to focus on getting more likes first. Okay, now we're going to get into our interactive section. So I'm going to be sharing different posted examples, and in the webinar chat, if you can just type in if you think it's a bad post or if you think it's a good post and why, and then relate that to the do's and don'ts that we just talked about. And then I'll have Kristen read out the answers as they come in to me, and then we can have a little discussion afterwards. All right, some will be very obvious, some will not. So let's get started. All right, Cookie Monster. Click the like button if you like cookies. Is this a good post or a bad post?
I'm getting a lot of bad.
Okay, yes, it is a very bad post. So what is Cookie Monster doing wrong? Anybody?
Asking for likes is the overwhelming answer.
Yeah, exactly. So asking for likes. So Facebook does not like it when you ask people to like your post. Cookie Monster is begging his followers to click because he wants his engagement to go up. The problem is that this is super low value content and will not serve you in the long run. So let's see what Cookie Monster could have done better. Professional Cookie Monster. He got a suit. He wants engagement too, but instead he's asking a question to get a discussion started, which is more rewarding for his fans. This is the type of engagement Facebook wants to see. It's also the type of engagement that won't have people rolling their eyes as they roll through their news feeds. And then in addition to that, this can actually give Cookie Monster great information. If it turns out that the majority of his fans don't like gluten-free cookies, like Ernie, for example, he can use that knowledge for future posts. He can start focusing on homemade, grandma style, or super original types of cookies. If it's the opposite and they agree with the count, maybe it means his audience is really into healthy options. He can post recipes to gluten-free, allergy-friendly, or even vegan cookies. By taking the time to listen to his audience, Cookie Monster is going to be able to provide the kind of content his audience wants, which will result in even more engagement. Good job, Cookie Monster. All right, let's go to the second one. What do you think? Good or bad?
We got a bunch of bad.
Yeah, exactly. So this is total clickbait. You look at the update and you literally have no idea what the update is about. It's using a curiosity gap to make you want to click it, but whether or not the content will mean anything to you is a total gamble. Facebook can detect whether your post is clickbait even when nobody reports it, and they will limit your reach for it. They also monitor how long the people who click spend on the destination before coming back to Facebook. If it's only a few seconds, then that looks really bad for your post. They will start limiting the reach of your page even more. So let's look at a better way of doing something like this. Okay, so in this version, we still have a curiosity gap to make people want to click, but it's not at the expense of not giving them enough information to make an educated decision. They know ahead of time whether or not this content is relevant to them. They know what sort of article the post is about before they click. So you may not get as many clicks, but they are going to be more qualified clicks, and people are going to spend more time with that article. All right, so last one. This one's the trickiest. Okay, here we are sharing a link to a news story. And what do you guys think? Good or bad?
Got a lot of bad.
A lot of bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Can anybody tell me, is there anything of what could be wrong with it?
Vague.
Vague. Yes, it is very vague. So let's take a look at a better version to help you out. So Vice President Biden was only declaring a thumb war. So this is way less scary, a little bit funny too. But when you deliberately mislead people like that, the first update does, it can be a lot easier to get those clicks, right? It's like, oh my gosh, there's a war coming on. Click, I want to find out more. But then misleading people will not get you the results you want because they're going to immediately see that it's not what they thought of. And they're going to leave that page. Remember, you want to build trust. Now, if this was posted on April's Fool, I would laugh personally. But that's a totally different story, right? Also, if Facebook gets a report from a disgruntled person who clicked on that because they believed you, they can decide to restrict your reach. So you're better off not fudging the truth. I've said this before, the point of Facebook posts is to build relationships and establish trust with your followers. It's that simple. Tricking people into clicking on posts that are irrelevant to them will get you nowhere. Okay, so I just gave you tons of information, and I hope that it was digestible and easy to understand. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you for Perk for inviting us. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to take them now.
I will go ahead and unmute everybody. Give me one sec. All right, so the lines are open. If you have any questions, we can hear you now. So please feel free to ask any questions while we have her on the line.
I wanted to know why there's stuff on the window. Soda. When do you want me to start? Not yet. I think not till after 5:30.
Okay.
You'll be here till 6.
Any questions before we wrap up?
So I'm glad she's here.
Have her contact information if you want to reach out privately, or you can contact me, Kristen at Perk. Otherwise, thank you for joining, and we appreciate you coming on, and thank you for Patient Care for the great presentation.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.